The rush is on again to find potential cases of COVID and contain the spread.
What is really critical to all of us in New South Wales is to make sure that we're on alert.
There are now 2 cases. The man in his 50s and his wife has now tested positive. Health authorities have connected his infection to a return traveller through genomic sequencing. But how the virus went from the traveller to the man is a mystery.
We can't find any direct link between our case, so what we're concerned about is that there is another person.
The traveller arrived in Sydney on April the 26th and was in hotel quarantine in Darling Harbour. The person was then transferred to a special health hotel after returning a positive test result. Somewhere along the way, the virus has spread into the community.
We know that at least one person has been going around Greater Sydney with the virus. We don't know who they are. We don't know who they've been in contact with. We don't know where they've visited.
As a result, new restrictions came into effect at 5 p.m. Masks are now mandatory at all public indoor venues and on public transport. The number of visitors to a home will be limited to 20 people, including children. And that will be in place until the end of Sunday in Greater Sydney, Wollongong, the Central Coast and the Blue Mountains. These restrictions are likely to be felt more this weekend because of Mother's Day. But the Premier says she still wants you to go out, enjoy lunch or dinner, just with extra precautions in place. And she's adamant this is a proportionate response.
Whilst the pandemic is here, from time to time we're going to have to revert to some, what I call in this regard, light touch measures. If this was WA or Queensland, they would have shut down the whole city.
I'm not going to get into a tit for tat with Sydney that's now going through a very concerning period.
Most states and territories have responded to these cases in Sydney by ordering anybody to self-isolate if they've been to the venues identified as a risk. The only border going up is between New South Wales and New Zealand. From midnight, all flights will stop for 48 hours. Ashley Raper, ABC News, Sydney.
Ashley Raper is at Railway Square tonight. Ashley, are commuters masking up again?
Juanita, not everybody is wearing a mask, but here at least the majority appear to be. Obviously, this is not a new concept. Masks have previously been compulsory on public transport. And the Premier was firm that this time around there would be no grace period. That's despite this rule only being announced at 11 o'clock this morning. When the Premier made the announcement, she said people would just have to find a mask in the bottom of their bag or go to a shop and buy one before their commute home this evening. But Transport for New South Wales have also had their people out at Wynyard, Central, the major transport hubs in the CBD, handing out masks. And that's a sign, Juanita, that at the end of the day, the government just really wants people to comply because they don't have a handle on this situation just yet and they want to stop any potential spread of this virus.
Ashley Raper reporting there. The number of venues visited by the infected couple in Sydney continues to grow. Just when it felt like life had returned to near normal, the new restrictions have caught some businesses off guard.
As the clock struck 5, Greater Sydney ticked over into a wave of new restrictions, enforced until Monday to prevent a situation no one wants to see again.
In 2 days on the northern beaches, we had 80 or 90 cases because of a super spreading event.
A super spreading event is what authorities want to avoid. Finding the missing link is the mission now, and increasing testing is crucial.
We sometimes never find a missing link, so what the community can do is come forward for testing.
Anyone who has been to identified venues must get tested. There are now more than 20 locations, including 2 new restaurants, Fratelli Fresh at Westfield Sydney and Bondi Beach Trattoria. The AFL's Swans and NRL's Roosters went to one of those sites. The Swans have been cleared, but the NRL has gone back into a COVID bubble as a result. While outdoor events are safe for now, indoor venues are bearing the brunt.
It is difficult to try and encourage people to come and have fun and to adhere to more rules than they would have at home.
At pubs and clubs, patrons can't stand and drink, and staff must wear masks. No dancing or singing is allowed either. In the city, retailers are also worried.
This is sort of supposed to be a big weekend for a lot of businesses going towards Mother's Day. But yeah, there are some concerns.
But more concerning for authorities are the unknowns around these cases. Traces of coronavirus have been found at Marrickville's sewage network.
I want to stress to the community that it could be any one of us next who could get this virus.
I feel like everyone, if we do our part correctly and take it seriously, we can do well.
I guess if they can, nip it in the bud right now, that would be great.
It appears to be business as usual in Sydney right now. How the next few days play out will be key to whether tougher restrictions are introduced or whether the state has dodged another outbreak. Rani Hayman, ABC News, Sydney.